Okay, have you ever thought about what prom or homecoming would be like without dancing? It would be really weird. Everyone would kind of just be standing around and looking at each other, and it wouldn't be as fun as it is today. And music wouldn't be the same. You know, whenever you hear music, you tend to tap your feet or you bob your head to the beat. That's its own form of dancing. Dancing is what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to talk about the history, some of the different types, and then I'm going to talk about some different dance moves. So, dance is one of the hardest things to track back to its origin because no one was keeping records of stuff. But the earliest records that we do have is from Egypt. It's the paintings on the walls of the pyramids and the caves. We see Egyptians dancing. And then after the Egyptians, we see almost every other culture some evidence of dance. They did dancing for a bunch of different reasons. They would do it to maybe cure someone. If they thought that if they danced a certain way, someone would be healed of a disease. They did it to pray to God, to show off their skills for their who they wanted to marry. They did it for a bunch of different reasons. The Indians did it a lot too. They would put on colorful costumes and they would dance for God. Sometimes we call it a powwow, where they dance around. And in the medieval times, girls would put on their big dresses and they would do their hair, and men would put on their suits, and they would go to these elegant parties, and dancing was sort of a symbol of elegance and wealth. And the people who could dance well were the more attractive people, and women would really try hard to impress the men so that they could marry them. Jazz was one of the biggest breakthroughs through dance. Girls were starting to rebel against their parents in the 20s, and they would bob their hair and they would go out to clubs, and they were called flappers. They would wear sort of showier clothes, and they would dance in a way that was seen as vulgar back then, in a sort of rebelling way. So here's one type of dance that I really like. It's called hip hop, and where it sort of came from was where people were sort of on the streets and they formed, circles, and people would show off their dance skills and do really cool tricks to impress people. There's ballet, which has been around for thousands of years. This is the hardcore dance. Ballerinas have a really tough life. They have to be perfect all the time. So ballet is definitely, it shows strength and poise and gracefulness. Here's another form of dance. It's called kick. This is the Rockettes. They're one of my favorite groups. They do kick lines all the time, and if you notice, all of their feet are at the same exact spot, which is really amazing. And their feet have to be pointed all the time, and it's amazing. Okay, I'm going to talk about some different moves now. This is what's called a toe touch, and most of the time, the higher your legs go, the better a toe touch is. What people will tend to do is they'll get a big group of dancers, and they will get them all to do a toe touch at the same time, and then you'll see a line of legs, and it looks really cool. Some girls can get their toe touch up to a V, so their legs are up here by their head. It's really cool. With the toe touch, you have to do a certain prep. It can vary. You can do different stuff with your arms, but what you'll do most times is, one, and then you go down, and this is where you get all of your energy and your power, so that you can jump higher. So you have to have a prep in order to do them the best you can. So you can do it with your arms like this and going into a T. You can have your arms going into a V. There's a bunch of different ways that you can vary up your toe touches. There's no right way to do it. Then you have leaps, which are sort of like toe touches, but they are different. They have a prep too. Usually what you'll see is a 1, 2, 3 step leap sort of type thing. And they'll vary it up. You can have a straddle leap, which is where your legs are what you saw in the picture, straight. You can have stag leaps, which is where one of your legs is bent. You can have Russian leaps, which is where you're doing it sideways, so it's like a toe touch. There's a bunch of different ways, and there's no way to do it wrong. I hope that this showed you that there is so much more to dance than just moving your body around. It's a way to express who you are and to show what you believe and to show how you're feeling. There's a lot more to it than just, you know, teenagers being stupid. So now that we've looked at all the history and the different types and the different moves, maybe the next time you're at a party or a dance, you'll think, oh, I'm going to try this because I know how. And you'll realize that it's a lot of fun and it means more than just moving around.
All right.